Spider-Man first appeared in Amazing Fantasy 15 in August of 1962, and for the last 57 years he has been the face of Marvel Comics. Peter Parker has been synonymous with hero, self-sacrifice, and the balance between power and responsibility. He has experienced extraordinary victories and suffered terrible losses. He has arguably the biggest and most diverse rogues gallery in comics, and a huge cast of supporting characters that readers have come to love over a nearly 6-decade publication run that includes several different series, miniseries, and crossover events. Every character in Marvel Comics has a history with Spider-Man. He has had an impact that few other characters in fiction have had. Featured in several films and TV cartoons, video games, and on every type of merchandise from t-shirts and toys to underoos. Spider-Man is so popular that you'd be hard-pressed to find someone on the street who didn't know his story. So what better way to celebrate Marvel's 80-year anniversary than to retell Spider-Man's story from a whole new angle? But how do you take 6 decades of continuity and boil it down into a 6-issue miniseries? Simple. Hire Chip Zdarsky. Spider-Man Life Story takes a run at Spider-Man's continuity as if Peter Parker aged in real time, with each of Life Story's 6 issues representing the biggest events of each decade of Peter's life. And just about every character and every Spider-Man moment is represented. Green Goblin, The Clone Saga, Secret Wars, Kraven's Last Hunt, Doc Ock, The Scarlet Spider, Morlun and the Spider Totems, Parker Industries, Civil War, Miles Morales, and Superior Spider-Man are all covered in 6 issues, and they all read beautifully, not overloaded or bloated at all gorgeously rendered by all-star Spider-Man artist Mark Bagley. Bagley has a history of fantastic Spider-Man work, and Life Story ranks amongst his best. His line work is impeccable, and his dynamic layouts drive the story through the action. Classic brawling and web-slinging fills the pages, but it's the human moments between the battles where this book shines the brightest. The emotion that Bagley conveys through his art is second to none. You feel what these characters feel. Their reflections on their lives, their hopes and fears, their doubts and regrets. You're right there with them, living their stories. And as an added bonus, we're treated to some of the best character designs in the business. Redesigned villains, and the most spider suits in one project since Spider-Man for the PS4. This team has woven together multiple stories that we've known and loved for decades into a brand new tapestry, dripping with nostalgia yet feeling totally fresh. It's no small task taking 60 years of continuity, putting it into a blender, and pouring out a cohesive narrative. But Zdarsky and Bagley have somehow pulled it off. Spider-Man Life Story is one of the best Spider-Man stories in quite some time. It's unique in its approach, but classic in its presentation. And I'd love to see other heroes get the Life Story treatment in the future. Fantastic Four and the X-Men would be high on my list. Zdarsky explores themes of responsibility and regret throughout Peter Parker's life and frames these classic Spider-Man tropes against the greatest hits of Marvel lore. Expertly rendered by Mark Bagley, Spider-Man Life Story is a must-read for any Spidey fan. Trust me, true believers, Spider-Man Life Story is a 5 out of 5. I hope you enjoyed that video. If you did, make sure you hit that like button, give us a subscribe, and hit that notification bell. That way you know anytime the Comic Core is going live. Alternatively, if you'd like to support us monetarily, you can buy some of our Comic Core t-shirts. They're available on our TeePublic store. Click the link in the description below, or just go to the TeePublic website, type in Comic Core, and then shop till you drop. Do you have a hot date coming up? Maybe a job interview? We're putting up new designs all the time. You can check out this Drew Manchu Bebe t-shirt. Impress your friends, your neighbors, and potential employers with your style. They're available in a plethora of different colors. Check the link in the description below.